This is multi-level inheritance. Okay, this is second one. Multi-level inheritance. Okay, yeah. Multi-level inheritance. What is multi-level inheritance actually? Multi-level inheritance is when a new class is derived by inheriting a class that is derived from another class, right? That means when you are creating a new class, that class is inheriting from one class. That inherited class also inheriting from another class, right? Hello guys, we are defining class A. That class we are defining class B. Okay, the class B is inheriting class A. Okay, that class A is already inherited from some other class. Understood, guys?
Yes.
Let's
Yes,
say we have a base one. Okay, na? Base one class. We have a base one. After that, we have another class called derived class one. Derived one is inheriting from base one, right, guys?
yes.
So this is single inheritance till now. Okay, if you have any derived class, let's say derived class derived 2. Okay, if this derived 2 is inheriting from derived 1, while defining a new class means while defining this class, we are inheriting one class, right? This derived one.
Yes, sir.
This derived is inheriting from some other class, right? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
So multi-level inheritance is when a new class is derived, by inheriting the class, by inheriting this class. Okay, now again this particular class is derived from some other class. It is this class also derived from some other class, right? This one.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone understood this particular definition as per this flow?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The program understanding the implementation of the multi-level inheritance is given below. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's define a class base. Okay. Class base. Base is not inheriting from anywhere, guys. So if it is a class, that's why you have to give the capital letter here. EASS pass. So let's define a class derived class 1. Derived A. Okay. Derived A. It is inheriting from the class base parent class, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the derived class of the base class, right? This is the child class of this parent class, right? So we are deriving this class, we are defining this class by inheriting the base class. Okay.
Okay.
So next, till now it is single inheritance only. If you are going to define a class derived B of derived A. Here, when you are dealing with this particular class object, the object will having a access to the derived class A, right?
Yes.
So if you have access to derived class A, automatically will have access to base class, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Right.
Sure. That means here base class, this is level 1, right? Here level 2. Okay, multiple levels, right? Like this, we can have any number of levels. We can have a class derived C. Okay, if the C is inheriting from, if the C is inheriting from derived B, derived B. So what will happen when you are dealing with this particular object? Inside this object, we can reuse class B, derived B class, A class, and base class also, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Understood?
Okay.
Yes,
This is
sir.
the advantage of using multi-level inheritance.
Yep.
Let's define the one example on this. Let's say here I am defining diff base method. Diff base method print printing from. Guys, once you understand this concept, we will come up with some use case. Okay, now tomorrow we will discuss about it. One use case. Okay, first we have to understand the concept. Okay, that's why I'm taking the simple example here. Here, diff method A. Okay, diff method A printing from derived underscore A class, right?
Yeah.
So here I am going to define another. See, these are like, I'm just giving demonstration. I just keep taking simple examples. In reality, we'll have this class specific functionality here. This class specific functionality will be here, right?
Right.
Method B.
Mm.
Printing from derived B class. Okay, let me comment out this, guys. Let me comment out this. Not required. Okay, let's keep it simple. So everyone agree, when you look like this is the multi-level inheritance, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, let's define a instance. Okay, let's create an instance. How do you create instance? Means obj equal to derived class B. Derived class B. Is this derived class having any constructor? No, right?
No.
Initializer? No, right?
No.
No.
If there is no initializer, means implicit to initializer will invoke automatically. Okay, we no need to pass any parameters here. Okay. Next, how do you call the attributes from this object? By using dot notation, right? Obj. Before that, with this particular object, what are the functions can be callable? Think about it.
All the
Derived
functions,
class
Anna.
A, base class also.
Derived class and the base class can be called.
So first, you can call this method.
Derived class B, yes.
Derived class B can be callable, and this B class having the access to A class, you can call this one. And this A class having access to B base, right? You can call this one also, right? That means once you define the instance of B, we will have ability to call A functionality, reuse the A functionality as well as the this parent, this particular A class from base class, right? This one, This functionality
Yes.
also we can reuse it.
Yeah. If we
Understood?
have class variables from base, we can access them from derived class B also.
Yeah, we can access it. I will discuss it, the use case later.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, obj dot here where is this name and is coming? Derived class B. What? It is somewhere. It is coming from somewhere. Seems like.
Yes. Change the object name.
Just taking this name. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Somewhere we defined the same name. That's why that one is coming. Okay. So I changed the class name here. Obj dot. When I say obj dot, it's okay. Still coming. No problem. Okay. Method B.
ఆబ్జెక్ట్ రిఫర్ అవుతుందన్న అది మెథడ్ కాదు న్యూ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అని వచ్చి చూడండి ఒకసారి
Sorry.
మనం ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ని రిఫర్ చేస్తున్నాం అన్న ఆబ్జెక్ట్ డాట్ మెథడ్ అని
OBJ అని ఎర్లియర్ చేసిన వాటిని
ఇచ్చాము న్యూ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అని ఇచ్చి చూడండి అన్న న్యూ హైప్ అండర్ స్కోర్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అని
Yeah, exactly. Okay, got it. Yes, exactly. So somewhere we used that particular variable. So that's why it is getting like that. Okay. Obj dot. Here we are able to access method A, method B, and method C. So that means what is the object of this class? This object belongs to which class? Derived class BA, right?
Yes.
Right.
So derived class BA means in this class we have only this functionality, right? But if you want the same functionality again, if you do not have inheritance, if you do not have a composition, we have to redefine them again, right? Inside this class.
Yes.
So if you do not have that concept, wherever we required, we have to newly create, redefine everything again and again, right? That means you are repeating the same code again and again, right?
Yes.
So in that case, instead of that, let's split the complexity into different classes, okay? As per the use case. Derived class, when defining derived class B, just inherit from the base class and whatever the specific functionality of this particular class, define those functionality here. Okay, while testing also, you can simply concentrate on this particular piece of code, right? We no need to worry about all base classes, right? Hello?
Right.
Yeah.
So here obj dot method A, new obj dot method B, new obj dot method base method, right?
Yes.
Printing from derived class A, printing from derived class B, after printing from derived base class. The order what we call, when I call method A, what will happen? It will look inside this class, right?
Yes.
Method A is not there, right?
Yeah.
Hello, here method A is not there. That means this is the derived class, means it is inheriting from some other class, right? So it will look here, right?
Yeah.
So do we have method A inside this
Yes.
parent class? Yes, we have. So it is invoked automatically, right?
Yeah.
Next, when I call method B, here we have it will first look inside this class, right? Here we have a method B. This particular finish statement is executed here, completed. After that, base method. When I call base method, first it will look inside this. Do you have any method with the name base method?
No.
No, not there. It will look into the parent class, right?
Yeah.
Right.
This is the parent class, right? So here, do you have any method with base method? Do you have any method with name base method? No, right? If it is not there, automatically it is also derived class, right? It is inherited from some other class.
Yes.
So it will look into this base class. If you go to base class, this is the base class. Here, do you have any method with base method?
Yeah.
Here we have, right?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, Anna.
Yes.
Yes, Anna.
Here we have. So this print statement is executed here now.
Oh, no.
So here also it is not there. Hello?
Okay.
Here also it is not there. After that, this base class does not know where to look, right? This is the end, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So attribute not found in derived B. Let's say if you modify this one here like this, let's run it. Seems like we got that error. Yeah, what derived B object as new attribute base method, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. When you call base method, it will look in this class first. If it is not there, it will go here. Here also it is not there, it will go here. Here also it is not there. It simply throw that derived B object as new attribute base method. Okay.
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 You modify, if it is found, it will call. In this hierarchy, whatever method we are calling, whatever attribute you are invoking here, if that particular identity is not available anywhere in this hierarchy, it will throw the error. Okay, now how it will search means it will search in the current, after that immediate parent, after that immediate parent. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
understood? This is multi-level inheritance. So this is the example. Okay, now are you able to understand this particular definition? Multi-level inheritance is when a new class is derived by inheriting a class. When a new class is derived, here we are deriving the new class. Okay, now
Okay.
here we are deriving the new class by inheriting this class. Okay.
Okay.
By inheriting a class means this class, guys, parent class. We're defining a new class by inheriting a class. We are defining new class and inheriting from this class, right?
Right.
Yes, Anna.
That is derived from some other class. We are inheriting from this class. This is derived from some other class, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Understood, Nama? Everyone?
Yes, Anna.
So simple logic. Okay, na? Multi-level inheritance is when a new class is derived, the derived class is inheriting from one class. That inherited parent class also inheriting from some other parent class. Okay, na?
Okay.
That's what is happening here, right? We are defining a class and inheriting here. Whatever the class we are inheriting, this is also inheriting from some other class, right?
Right.
So that's what we are saying here. That is multi-level inheritance. Okay.
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 Yeah.
All right.
So now next is multiple inheritance. Okay. Third concept is multiple inheritance means, guys, what happened here? Hello.
Deriving
Multiple-
from one base class.
That means what is the answer? Anyone guess?
One base class is having two derived classes.
One derived class? No. You are saying in reverse way. Okay.
Child class have multiple parent classes.
A derived class can inherit more than
More than
one
one
class.
base class.
More than one base
Base class.
class
Base
at a time. Okay, na?
Okay.
At a time means with only one here we with comma separated we will specify. Here it is not at a time, right? Here this class is inheriting from B base class, and this class is inheriting from this class. It is a, that's why we call it as a multi-level, right?
Yeah.
This is level 1 inheritance. This is level 2 inheritance, right?
Yes, son.
Multiple level. In case of multiple inheritance, that means while defining one class, that class is capable of inheriting from more than one class. Okay, now?
Yeah. Okay.
A derived class is inheriting from. Hello, a derived class is inheriting from more than one base class at a time. Okay, now more than one base class at a time.
Okay.
That means we are going to let's say we could have any number of parent classes, any number of classes existed. Okay, let's say we have a class A and class B created. Okay, after that we are defining class C. While defining class C, the class C is capable of inheriting from both the classes at the same time. Okay, let's say
Yeah.
class, let's define class ABC. Okay, class ABC pass class XYZ class XYZ pass. Okay, now class derived class. Okay, hello, this is derived class. A derived class is inheriting more than one base class at the same time, right? That is multiple inheritance. A derived class can inherit more than one base class at a time. That means here these two are the base classes, right, guys?
Right.
Yes,
Hello?
son.
Any class could be a base class. Okay, now generally any class could act as a base class, but you should know what is base class, what is child class, based on the functionality that is providing, right?
Right.
In
Yeah.
this class derived class and ABC comma, this is one class, right? Here it is a single inheritance, right? Because
Yes.
this class is inheriting from only single parent class. That's why I call it as single inheritance.
Yeah.
If this class is inheriting from more than one class, then we call it as a multiple inheritance.
Okay.
Okay, like this we can
Okay.
define any number of parent class names here. Understood, guys? Base class names here.
Can we define a derived class as a base class here?
See, one thing is derived class in the sense it is a class, it is being inherited from some other class, right?
Right. Right.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Base and derived class, right? Derived means
Right.
we are defining one class by inheriting some other class, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to define another class, that another class can inherit this derived class. That's acceptable. Okay,
Okay.
understood, guys?
Yeah.
Pass. So now this derived class is capable of reusing this one and this one, right?
Yes.
Understood? This is multiple inheritance. A class is inheriting more than one class like this. This is called as a multiple inheritance.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So next, let's create an object of this class.
Yeah.
Usual process.
Okay.
Obj obj underscore 1 equal to we are going to create object for the derived class, right? Just we want to show are you able to reuse this functionality or not, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Derived class of object. We created the object. If we have any constructor here, we have to pass those parameters here, right? As of now, assume like we do not have any parameter set. I mean initializer set.
Okay.
Okay.
Obj underscore 1 dot obj underscore 1 dot. Do you have anything to call here?
No methods.
No.
are defined.
No.
Do you have anything
No.
to? No, right?
Yeah.
These all are magic methods. By default, comes from object. Okay, na? Object class. Object is a super class in Python. Okay, even if we do not inherit, by default it will be inherited. Here we are defining classes, right? If we do not have any base class, means by default it is inheriting from the object base class. Okay, na?
Okay.
That's why we are seeing these all. Here, observe it, object. Understood, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So let's define some functionality here. Here we are going to define one more method. Okay, method underscore xyz. This is just a conceptual knowledge, guys. Okay, in reality, based on our use case, we have to think like this. Which part, but whatever the inherent type is suitable for your use case, we have to use appropriate use case based on your use case and need. Okay. So once we familiar with this concept, and if you start working on the use case, you will get to know why we chosen the single inheritance, why have chosen the multiple inheritance, why have chosen the multi-level inheritance. Based on the use case only, we choose appropriate inheritance type, right?
Yeah.
Understood, guys? There is no rule to use only one type of inheritance. Okay, na? Based on your use case, you have to choose appropriate inheritance type. If you know the purpose of each inheritance type, automatically you can decide it while developing the program, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So this is one class, this is another class, and this is the derived class, right? Why called derived? Because it is inherited from parent classes, base classes. That's why we call it as a derived class. Okay.
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 So in reality, these could be, let's say, department comma employee. Department is the parent class. Employee could be the child class, right?
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
each department having multiple employees, right? One employee belongs to a particular department. One parent, multiple childs. Okay.
Okay.
So here, so when I call obj dot, here is it listing out all the class members here?
Yeah.
Method ABC is coming from ABC. Method derived is coming from derived class. Method XYZ is coming from XYZ.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means when I call method ABC, can anyone tell me the approach? At least one person can take the initiative and start explaining how Python will look for this particular method.
First, it will look into the derived class.
Okay.
After that, it will look into the ABC class and then XYZ class.
Okay, it's left to right such, right? Whatever class we specified here, First it will look into here. If it is found, it will
Okay.
invoke. If it is not found, it will look for the same method name here also, right? Here also it is
Yeah.
not found. Here also it is not found. It will throw the error, right?
Right.
Yes.
So it will look for the left to right manner, guys. Here we have, we can have any number of parent classes, okay?
No.
So if this particular method is not available here, automatically Python will start looking here. After, if it is found inside this class, it will be invoked. If it is not there, it will look here. Okay?
అన్న
No.
Yeah.
ఇక్కడ ఒక డౌట్ అన్న, మెథడ్ ఏబిసి అన్నది ఫర్ సపోజ్ మనకి XYZ క్లాస్ లో కూడా ఉందన్న.
Good question. Okay. Yeah.
ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ఏబిసి లోకి వెళ్ళి చెక్ చేశాక మెథడ్ ఫౌండ్ అయింది, తర్వాత XYZ లో కూడా సెర్చ్ అవుతుందా అన్న, చెక్ చేస్తుందా?
No, అది కూడా ఇప్పుడు మనం వెరిఫై చేద్దాం. Actually, it is supposed to not, right? Once it is found, it simply invoke it.
It should.
Okay.
అవును.
Okay. Let's define the same class, guys. Here also, ABC from XYZ. Okay. From XYZ. ABC from ABC. Understood?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
So now let's call the method ABC. When I call method ABC, what I'm let's run this program first. Thing is ABC from ABC only, right?
Yeah.
ABC from ABC. That means here how Python will resolve this method resolution. Okay, na? Method resolution means when you calling the particular method on the object, Python will do the method resolution where this method is invoked. From where this method is invoked, Python should know, right? Where from where this method is being invoked in this hierarchy.
Yeah.
So that means Python will follow some variant to call this particular method. To which class method it's supposed to call and all. Based on this method resolution order, it will resolve, right?
Not.
Okay. That means method ABC. In this class, there is no method called ABC, right?
Yeah.
After that, Python will start look from the left to right manner.
Okay.
Okay. So first class is ABC, right?
అవును.
If it is first class is ABC, inside ABC, it will look for the method ABC. It is there, right?
Yes.
Once it is invoked, it won't search again. It is resolved, right? Whatever Python is looking for, it is found and called that method, right?
Yes.
So we don't need to, our target is achieved here, right? Hello?
Right.
Python resolved this method resolution in this class itself. It won't look again here. Understood? Hello? If you
Yes.
define XYZ here and ABC here. Hello? If you define XYZ here and ABC here, in this process again we go with the same process. Okay? Method ABC. In this class, this method ABC is not there. After that, immediately Python will start looking from the left to right parent class, right?
Not.
That means in this context, XYZ is the first parent class, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So if it is a first base of parent class, it will look inside this class. If it is found, means this ABC from XYZ should supposed to print, not the from the ABC class. Okay.
Okay.
ABC from XYZ is coming now.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I think your doubt is resolved right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Mani, is it clear?
Yeah. Clear అన్న.
Okay. If you have anything, ask me. Yeah. Actually, it is a good question. This one you call it as a MRO. Okay, na? MRO, method resolution order. When you are calling any method on this object, internally Python will follow MRO order. Okay, na? Method resolution order. Method resolution order means right now what we discussed, how it look up for this particular method. Okay. Here, if it is not found here, if it is not found here, if here also it is not found, it is simply throw the exception. Hey, this particular method not available, attribute not found kind of error it will throw. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is multiple inheritance, this is multi-level inheritance, this one is single inheritance, right?
Yes, sir.
In tomorrow class, we are going to take one use case on each inheritance type. Here, just to understand the concept, we define simple classes with random functionality, right? In reality, we have a constructor, we have a behavior for specific class and all, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we take a one use case and explore that in tomorrow class. Okay, if you're having any questions, we will discuss.
Right now, no questions, understood.
Great, then